And we are so easily motivated by money, and to me, there's no way for you to have culture. We always talk about the culture, the culture, the culture. Like, the real truth is the culture is money. And money is printed by America, and it doesn't have no true value. So they can give you anything they want to. And if you are moved by that anytime they call you, then you're a prostitute.
Yeah, because the
And
culture's
it,
for sale at any turn, at every turn. You're right,
yeah,
1000%.
it's not really culture, it's prostitution.
All right, folks, it's that time of the show where we bring in a guest to chop it up with us. And today's guest wears many hats. He's a legendary rapper, producer, actor, and activist who's always used his platform to speak truth to power. Now, you know his hits, you know his movies, and you now can see him in the new Peacock series called Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. Let's give it up for the one and the only David Banner. What's up, cousin?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We need to take you everywhere I go. That was an awesome intro.
Very well done. Firstly, man, how's your spirit feeling this morning?
Man, everything is good, man. Just having the opportunity, man, to continue to expand, to continue to create. I really think that's our real power, is to have the opportunity to create and bring things to and from the unseen. And just excited about it, man. Moving forward. Fight Night has been the most viewed show in Peacock history. I'm a part of that. Our people seem to really like Mo Slim, so it's been an awesome opportunity.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Fight Night. A phenomenal ensemble cast. When working with the cast of that magnitude, what is the order of operations in you deciding to sign up to be a part of that production? Do you have to know the other names that are a part of it, or were you just so encapsulated by the script and the story itself that you were just down to be a part of it?
It's funny, man. When people ask questions like that, my answer is usually it's neither. It just depends on the situation. Black art means so much to me. And the way that it's portrayed, the way that we treat each other, the way that it looks, the texture of it, the grade, the color, all aspects of Black art mean a lot to me. So sometimes that's the reason why I may take it. But in this case, it was a little bit of everything. I don't really see much of a hole in Fight Night, period. And it was very important to me to let Black people know in general. Like, I haven't personally seen this since Harlem Nights. And sometimes we have these misconceptions of thinking that we winning, or that we get these types of ensembles and this level of writing with this much power behind us all the time. I had to tell all my friends, like, no, don't wait to binge it. We need them weekly numbers. All of these things are important because we know that Hollywood works in trends. So if we can make Black high-end art popping again, then that's what people going to ask for, and that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, I'm really curious. What was your reaction when you saw the script? You were like, was it one of those things where you're like, okay, I definitely need to be a part of this series?
Well, to be honest with you, when it was more of, I heard about the cast before I had the opportunity to read the script. And what's funny is, a lot of people don't know this, that my very first film was with Samuel L. Jackson and Craig Brewer. So it was a family reunion almost. And then I was in I was in the last season of Empire. So I know how Samuel L. Jackson get down. He doesn't play when it comes to the art. I know, the way that Terrence looks at his art and how he approaches it. And, to know who was producing it, to know Will Packer was a part of it. We know how he get down. So it's like, but what I will tell you all is that this TV show was constantly evolving. And I knew it was going to be good, but I would have never imagined it was what it ended up becoming. The other thing that I think we all could do a better job at is talking about the fact that this is a piece of history. This story, wasn't just about a robbery. This wasn't just about, you know, Muhammad Ali's comeback fight. It wasn't just about gangsters and pimps and that period of time. It's also about how Atlanta evolved. And everybody run to Atlanta for business. Everybody run, to take advantage of it, but really don't know the history. Really don't know what goes into it. And a lot of times when you're dealing with black art, people define to us who our heroes can be. Other people can have their Scar faces and their John Gotti's. Atlanta wasn't just all positive, so-called positive people. You also had the number runners. You also had the hustlers. You also had, the owners of the strip clubs and the late night clubs, if you know what I'm talking about. We have all frequented some of
Yeah,
those. At least
yeah,
we
yeah,
have. Um, but like I think the full story is important because the real truth is I was always told there's three ways that you fool people. You give them the wrong information, not enough information, or too much information. And in this case, sometimes a lot of pieces were left out. So I think Fight Night is very important because of the historical ramifications of what a lot of these hustlers did. And I was honored to be a part of it.
Brother Banner's Wi-Fi was a little spotty, but we good. We rocked. We rolling and we good money. You good, bro?
We
All
back,
right.
man.
We
We
need to do
back.
some breath work, some breathing exercises to get you at peace. I know you had to go up some stairs.
No, we have peace. I'm in awesome shape, brother. I'm in superhero shape.
we love to hear it, man. I want to hear more about another project that you have coming up. My good sister Javicia Leslie stars in The Family Business. You are a series regular in the spinoff of that show, Family Business New Orleans. Can you give us some insight on that series?
Well, it was amazing because I was shooting Family Business New Orleans at the same time. I was going from Atlanta. Matter of fact, guys, on my birthday, I shot from like 10 o'clock in the daytime to 8 o'clock. No, about noon to about 1 o'clock at night. Went home, printed out my script, went and slept at Delta, was in LA the next day and shot from 11 to 8 o'clock the next day. But what I'll tell you all is both of these characters meant so much to me. Tasha Smith taught me something so very important. She said it's our responsibility as actors to put dignity and put humanity into every, character that represents our people. And Family Business New Orleans, like, man, I don't know what they did, bro, but it looks like they dumped millions and millions into that, man. I'm so proud of the production quality and how far Carl and them have been able to push this. And like I told you, black art means so much to me. So to be able to take that energy, and Carl and them didn't know this, but I was taking that energy from Samuel L. Jackson, bottling it up, jumping on the airplane, and coming and dumping it on Family Business, man. And I can't wait to be able. I can't wait for the people to be able to see, what they got going on.
What would you say kind of spearheaded that transition from music into acting?
Oh well, I've been since Like a Pimp, my very first single. I opted to not buy some of the things that other rappers bought. I went to acting school, so I've been in acting school since my very first single. So this is my 37th project. I'm a lot more picky about what I choose to be in as it pertains to acting. I think sometimes we have to make some sacrifices to get where we want to be. But for me, the pictures that we show, the pictures that we put in our mind, if we are what we think, then we are what we see and hear. So to me, is very important for me to be a little bit more selective. And so throughout the years, I've made sure that as much as I possibly could, if I could control it. I tried to get as far away from David Banner as I possibly could. And like what I decided to do, something that I got from Samuel L. Jackson, I now try to give each character a very specific look or something that the previous character didn't have. And so like with Family Business, and I have to tell you, I mean, I'll tell you guys would be the first, group of people that I would tell this. Like I was going through a lot personally, and Mo Slim and John from Family Business, creating these very strong characters. I'm a very strong person as an individual and as what people perceive to be a leader. But sometimes because people always see us on camera, they don't believe that we have bad times. And so I literally took, these characters that I helped to create, and it permeated into my life. And sometimes when I wasn't strong enough, I'd be like, man, what would Mo do? What John would do. And sometimes I would, the ways, posture that I chose to have in certain characters, I would stand like that in my real life until I was able to get it together mentally and physically myself. So I played two very, very powerful characters, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I'm grateful that y'all did proper research, man. That was a great segue. Way to come in.
Man, one of the things that acting schools always gave me was an elevated level of empathy. Because in every character there's a backstory, right? There's a motivating factor underneath everybody's behavior, both good and abhorrent. And it also afforded me the luxury of having some empathy for myself. So existing between those two characters and those two worlds, when you're going through something, I'm sure gave you a hell of a boost, because it almost, not even almost, it is an endorphin that you can call upon when you really tapped into characters to help you navigate your own personal life. So salute to the universe for providing you with something during a time of need that maybe on some Mr. Miyagi you ain't even realize you need it.
Especially when you're encapsulated in these characters for, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, every day, maybe besides 2 days a week. And for me, I've never said this before either. It sometimes, this is how I give it to y'all. I have an idea for a movie about an illustrator who finds out that, it's his responsibility to keep these characters alive. So, as he starts having children, as he starts having to have, different responsibility, as he gets, more popular, his characters start fading off of the screen. And it's funny, I have a little bit of separation anxiety, when it's time for me to separate from certain characters, especially when I enjoy them as much as I've enjoyed, being Mo and being Jean, because, as I evolved more as a human being, there's certain aspects of my personality that I stuff way down. And it's funny, my therapist told me this. My therapist said, the old David Banner was so much better for your mind, because if it was you, you said you, and you didn't go and meditate and squash it all down. You actually said exactly what you felt. And I was defending Tupac in a debate one time, and I said you can always calculate what someone has done, but you can't calculate what someone didn't do. So if I listen to Tupac music and vicariously was able to play out these emotions that I had by listening to his anger, and maybe I didn't go out and do those things, you can never calculate those things. You know what I'm saying? So like for me to be able to be these characters, there's certain parts of my personalities of my personality that I was able to tap into. And I believe a lot of my fans, especially the like a Pimp fans, that's the reason why they like Mo Slim so much. Because
it's a callback.
It's
a callback. It's a callback to the original way in which they met you. Got you.
Yeah. Same way we tap into our ancestors. It ain't no different.
So hip hop is the number one most consumed genre of music in the world. But as an artist and as a producer, I don't even know if people fully understand the magnitude of all the things you've produced. Do you like where we are sonically and culturally right now?
I think hip hop is a reflection of the culture. So people get in their feelings. I talked to a young man about it yesterday. He said that hip hop is dead. I was like, hip hop is not dead. How you gonna say hip hop dead and you talking to me? How you gonna say hip hop dead and Erica Badu was in the same text thread, and he was speaking to her. Like, by you saying that hip hop is dead, then you saying that she doesn't exist. You're saying that I don't exist. You're saying that Big Crit don't exist. I believe what happens is that people in general are too coward to say that, it's the same way that a lot of grown-ups want to put this ownership on children. If our children are lost, it's because we didn't guide them, you know. And people talk about better music, but they don't consume better music. People talk about everybody want to talk about better, 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 but I believe, your true interest is where your money is, where your eyeballs are. So you can say you want better music, but I remember this TV host one time. I won't even call her name. She did a whole TV show about negative rap, and her birthday was that night. And then they cut to her later on that night in the club, and she was shaking her butt to the same music that she was, what I'm
Was
saying?
criticizing. Yeah, yeah.
The same music she was criticizing. That's what she chose to play or have played at her birthday party. So for me, the problem is that, we don't give positive or so-called inspirational or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna open up to you guys. I spent $1.5 million on positive rap or so-called, revolutionary rap or conscious rap or whatever. That's not where my money or success came in. My success came in with Like a Pimp. And so we can talk all of this positivity, but most platforms don't give their space. As conscious as I may be, the so-called conscious directors, I don't get my parts from them. I get my parts from the popping directors, the one that do all. I don't get any special looks because of what I sacrifice and what I do. And I will say that I've lost more money in my career than anything. I was in the legendary Mississippi group Crooked Letters. I started in the conscious group. People don't know that. It wasn't until David Banner and I started talking about what I saw. Hip hop is just, for the most part what we see. And what happens with these children is my generation told these children money over everything. And so they're going to follow the money. That's what we told them. That was our fault. And nobody wants to take ownership of that. I am one of the few that will say that. And I don't have a problem because, Stephen King can do horror movies every day. And nobody criticizes him for making horror movies. But if we make horror music, it seems to be a problem. And the difference between us is, it was funny. Jordan Peele said that he doesn't have to make horror movies. All he has to do is tell the truth about Black people's experience in America. That's horrible enough. So I think if we would listen to what these children say are saying and deal with some of the things that they're saying, then they won't maybe have to talk about it. If we give them or show them benefits by doing a different type of music, because I'm an example of that. Every time I do a positive song, like I did the song Marry Me. I did that. Like, it spent a lot of money on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they like making girls get down on the floor. And so what happens is we got to start putting in ownership also on the consumer. Whatever people are buying, watch rappers start rapping about it. Buy some positive music. I bet you to change. Put some positive music on TV. I bet you to change. But people talk about it. People go towards the money. America as a whole has become just consumer based. It's consumerism. It's capitalism. And if people want better, they should buy better.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime performance, especially because you've produced for big name artists like Lil Wayne. Do you think that they got it right?
This is, well, first of all, I'm so amazed at how just it wasn't too long ago that black folks wasn't really dealing with it. That's what I thought. That's what I was told. And then they employ one other black person, and we just, and it's crazy because I am the one that answer these types of questions, but this kind of stuff hurts my career because I tell the truth. Most people don't tell the truth, and I don't benefit from that. We don't support each other enough for me to really truly. Vince Staples said it the best. Like, y'all don't. If you really care about me, you don't really want to hear the truth. You don't.
Right.
You don't. I won't be on Fight Night too. But the real truth is like, what do we stand for? My dad always told me what makes a man or a woman is not what you say yes to, is what you say no to. I saw there was this big movement. It was a big strike that was going on, and the things that the corporation was doing to the workers, it was so deplorable. And for me, I feel like Muhammad Ali felt. If someone shows you, and I guess since y'all say I can curse, I can say it the way that I want to. I've always felt if a person shows you they ass, you should smell it. And once a group of people show you how they feel about you, they feel about your race, just because they have enough money to give you some of the things that you want, it doesn't stop how they felt about you. And we are so easily motivated by money, and to me, there's no way for you to have culture. We always talk about the culture, the culture, the culture. Like, the real truth is the culture is money. And money is printed by America, and it doesn't have no true value. So they can give you anything they want to. And if you are moved by that anytime they call you, then you're a prostitute.
Yeah, because the
And
culture's for sale at any turn, at every turn. You're right,
yeah,
1000%.
it's not really culture, it's prostitution.
This question is super light, super easy, but I just gotta ask. I went to North Carolina A&T State University. You went to Southern University. How many different HBCU homecomings have you been to, and what is the best homecoming in the HBCU community?
Oh man, it's sort of hard because times have changed. I mean, I come from Southern, bro. You got to understand, we had the Bayou Classic. Like, I just told you, you could tell what people care about by their money. Like, we was on primetime TV, bro. I'll tell you this though, the dopest thing about Southern and Louisiana schools is that we got out a whole week out of school for Bayou Classic, because they knew that people were going to leave after Tuesday and weren't going to come back to next Tuesday anyway, so they might as well man. And what I'll tell you, man, is that, I know they want us to pick at each other, because when it comes to HBCUs, it gets really, really catty. But I'll just tell you, there is no culture. And it took me moving away. I moved very far away from HBCU culture, and really to come back and see so many black faces in America, it is so powerful. And although,
Man.
and we can be real about it, although, it is about competition, the truth is, in most homecoming, football the last thing that most people worried about.
Man, I just came from our homecoming. We lost 59-17 to Hampton.
And wasn't nobody worried about it, man.
We ain't care.
That's what I'm saying. Like I mean, and people that Southern know this, bro. When I was in school, the band ran Southern anyway. The halftime show was really what it is. That's not taking anything away from football, but again, let's get back to it. It's about the people. Whether it's football, whether it's basketball, it's we are tribal people. And anytime we get together, whether we debating, whether we playing tag, whether we playing the dozens, it's a community, and it's something that's so special when we get together. And it's sort of sad to me that a game would be the thing that will galvanize that type of power. But I think if it could transfer into anything that we do, I asked them to stay away from politics, because I don't really think most black people want to hear the truth. I think politics is about what you can eat, where you can work, what you can write down on a sheet of paper. It ain't religion. It ain't friendship. The Republicans or the Democrats care nothing about you. So for me, if we really want to use politics, then next time we should figure out who we want to create. Why don't we raise a child up the same way that other races of people raise a child up? Know what we want, know what the community want. Rises from one of us, not somebody that they throw at us.
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel. The same power that HBCUs have given us, as far as as football is concerned or basketball is concerned, we can use that for politics, and we can use it for the communities. Because speaking of HBCUs, if you ever want to, I tell people from out of town all the time, all of these out of towners come to HBCUs. If you really, instead of trying to change the world, usually you can look right across from any HBCU and there's a hood. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you was at Southern, how about starting in Scotlandville? You know what I'm saying? Or starting with any hood that's around these HBCUs, and let's change that hood these 4 years that you're at this HBCU, and let's take some of this, all of this pride that we have, and do something that's sustainable and systemic for our community.
Yeah.
Look at me,
Outside of the university.
turn the
I gotta,
HBCU home.
I gotta ask you this. This is for me. We know about your musical catalog as an artist. Your production discography is crazy. Produced for everything from Lil Wayne, Snoop, Jill Scott, Chris Brown. Your acting chops are elite. You're a humanitarian and a community activist. You are a scholar. Have you always been accepting of the fact that you were gifted in so many areas? And lastly, can you please speak to the importance of dying empty?
Bro, wow. Wonderful question. Both of you all are doing such a great job. I'm proud of you both. Man, you all come from different angles, and I think it gives your show balance, man. Y'all keep working on it. Good job to both of you all.
Appreciate it.
Again, my therapist told me something that was so powerful. My therapist said, "You always talking about black people, black people. What about you?" I learned that I care more about other people than I care about myself, and I don't do myself well. And it wasn't until recently that I realized I'm a genius. I really am a genius. I do a lot at a very high level, and sometimes my ego leads me to wanting more applause for the level of what I do. But I realized the type of man that I am, even my people in some cases don't want to see a man like me be successful, because if I'm successful, then it raises the standard. You can't just rap. You got to be for the people. You can't just act. You have to invest in black culture, and everybody doesn't want that. So, I had to realize, without being an ass, without being self-absorbed, I have worked hard. Somebody told me a couple of days ago that I was getting a little self-centered because I talk about how good I look. But I'm in the gym sometimes, 2 times a day, 3 times. I work out 3 times a day sometimes. And this is without a movie part coming, because I want to be our children's superhero, not just on the screen, but in real life. And so if some days I'm in the gym 3 times and I don't look good by now, and I've been doing this for over a year and a half, then I need to stop what I'm doing. I look good because I work at it. I'm good at acting because I've been going to acting school this long, for over 10, 12, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing music. I've put in more than 20,000 hours in front of my drum machine. If I'm not good at beating on the drum machine by now, then I wasted over half of my life. But what I'll say is that my father used to always tell me, it's not what people think about you in 2 years. It's not what they think about you in 20 years. It's what they think about you in 200, if they will know you existed at all. So the real truth is as much jamming music as I've done, as many acting roles that I've done, what really means the most to me is for a kid to come up to me and say, I'm the reason that they became conscious. Because, you may not remember your favorite song when you were in the 10th grade, but you remember the person that taught you how to add. You remember the person who taught you how to tie a shoe, how to ride a bike. Those earmarks in your life that really transcend just the stuff that makes you feel good. And I think that I'm one of those people in culture that, when I die, may not be remembered for the things I want to be remembered for, but I will be remembered for those things that are transcend time.
Thank you. Hey, man.
Make sure everybody go to davidbanner.com. I don't never, every time I get out here, I start talking political and don't do what I'm supposed to. Y'all make sure y'all go to davidbanner.com and support. Make sure that you look at Fight Night and not just look at it because it's a great TV show, but do some back history, about these characters and what happened and the reason why Atlanta is what it is today. Family Business is coming out the end of the year. Y'all make sure that y'all look at that. And it's just been, and I'm grateful that people consider me. Thank you all.
Thank you for joining us, man. This meant a lot. This is a great conversation. Samaria, I'm sure you have the same sentiment.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.